what the NFL algorithm was thinking. Because in case people don't know this, the NFL does pick their games based on I believe they have an algorithm they use to pick their games, right? I believe there is an algorithm for that. And in the schedule video that I said, I also said that week 14 makes the most sense. Namely because by week 14, by the bye week, we would already know if the Raiders are pushing the playoff or not, right? By week 13, it will be pretty clear if we're pushing the playoffs or not. Also, I'll put him in when we're officially going to lose the game we're in. Yeah. So week 13 makes the most sense because if you look at the schedule, there is a gauntlet that the Raiders have to face. An absolute gauntlet we have to face. Starting with the Chargers week 2. Actually, that's a home game, even though we're playing at SoFi. That's still a home game for us. But most definitely starting at week 3, there's a gauntlet, and the Saints is the weakest of this gauntlet. But we got the Chiefs, we got the Patriots, and we got the Bills. Those are our playoff teams. And then we go to the Rams, another playoff team. The Jets, we get a little reprieve. But then we're facing the Niners and the Seahawks. That is a gauntlet right there. Here's the thing. By the end of this week, by the end of week 11, we will already know if the Raiders are pushing for anything this year. Remember how the Raiders didn't have a primetime game? Well, with the new NFL rules, the last 2 weeks, we can still get a primetime game because that's going to be determined based on how well we're doing as the week is progressing. By the end of week 13, Mendoza is either going to be starting or starting against the Seahawks. I'll talk about that in a second because there's a chance there too. Mendoza will be starting, or the Raiders are pushing for a playoffs with Cousins, or Mendoza's already been started. So I theorize that the earliest possible time that Mendoza could start, the earliest possible time, barring injury, not assuming injury. If there's no injury, if it's just bad, the earliest that he would start, I believe, would be against the Buffalo Bills. Right? I think the Buffalo Bills would be the earliest. So bad meaning we lost this game, we gave him one more chance, we lost this game to the Chiefs because he wouldn't. Okay, fine. I could see week 4. But no, you wouldn't throw Cousins out that quickly unless Cousins is really, really bad. Exactly. So we can beat Miami. So that's going to give a little bit of a break just to the mindset of taking Cousins out. If Cousins can beat Miami, that buys him an extra week at least. So we go here and here. But here's the thing. Even if we don't win either of these 2 games, one of these 2 will be close enough. Because Cousins is not going to go down to the Chargers without a fight. And to the Saints, maybe. The Saints game is the one I see Cousins maybe thrown away, where it's obvious we could have won that game, but then Cousins made a bad play and then we lost it. Yeah, so starting 0-2 will be bad. So I very much think Cousins is coming out firing on all cylinders both of these games. And I could see us going 2-0. I could. Here's where we're going to start fluttering a bit. It's this New Orleans game. Because it is very much Kirk Cousins to start hot and then to just drop a game inexplicably in like week 3, week 4, and then make us all go, okay, is he washed? And then we're going to give him another shot in week 4. So I do think unless Cousins gets injured, I do think he's going to play week 4, right? Because yeah, we need some typical Raider BS bullshittery before we settle down, and that bullshittery is gonna come here. Like week 3, like Cousins, that was you threw it away. What just happened? Give him another shot with the Chiefs. He's gonna play hard because it's the Chiefs. The Patriots might beat us down, even though I keep saying we are in the Patriots' head. I think we're in their heads. I think we're in the entire head of the Patriots, their fan base. We're in their head. We would never let them forget the talk rule that started the entire dynasty. We would never let them forget it. And making matters worse or better for us, depending on how you look at it, we also now have their golden boy. who we graciously awarded the Tuck Rule. So we're in their heads. I can see you just clubbering them for no reason at all, other than the fact that we're in their heads. Sorry, we're just in their heads. Okay. Here's the thing. Week 6, Buffalo is also known for dropping games they have no reason dropping. Like, Buffalo is especially known for dropping games they have no business dropping. Buffalo will just straight up drop a game against a team they should easily defeat. And unless the Raiders are firing on all cylinders, the Buffalo Bills should easily beat a Kirk Cousins Raider team. But they may drop that. Seahawks, would we start Fernando Mendoza? We would, because we're coming back home. I mean, think about this though, Venti. We might beat the Bills because the Bills just drop games. The Bills will drop a game they have no business dropping. Every year they will drop multiple games they have no business dropping. Here's the thing though, Venti. Check this out. What if we start in week 9 against the Niners in the Bay? Right? What better homage would you pay to the NFL, to the Oakland fans, and to the Bay than to start the franchise quarterback first game in the Bay, and then he comes back home to see a Legion against the world champs? Oh, I absolutely think we can win a lot more than we think, dude. Again, there's a reason the NFL. The NFL does pick their schedules based on an algorithm, and there's a reason why I would think a team like us has such a gauntlet to begin with. Because again, by week 13, it's either we're playing primetime games at the end of the season, because the Raiders, it wouldn't even take long for the Raiders to be awarded a primetime game. They just have to be hot. They either just have to be hot or Mendoza has to be hot, right? If Mendoza's starting by the end of the bye week and he's hot, I could even see us getting a primetime game if we're playing against a team that's already in the playoffs, right? Because remember this, all these games, this is why to be determined. This can be a primetime game. This might not, depending on how well they're doing. I don't think the Cardinals will be doing well, but again, the Tennessee Titans, guys, this could be a primetime game. There are some games that could easily move around depending on how the Raiders are doing, and that's going to depend on when Fernando Mendoza is started. I really do. I think it really depends on when he's started, because again, if we're playing against the Chiefs and the Chiefs haven't locked down a playoff spot in the very last game, and Mendoza's starting for the Raiders, that's going to be a primetime game for sure, right? Yeah, exactly. If Mendoza starts in week 16 versus the Titans, that's going to be a primetime game. Cam Ward, week 2, season 2 guy, and Fernando Mendoza. There was a whole battle about who was the best coming out of them. If both of them have a meaningful game, this would be flexed to a primetime game, right? So there's a ton of opportunities here. That's why I love this schedule. I think this is a great schedule for the Raiders. I really do. Namely because, you know what? I know you're gonna agree with this, Venti, but I want to know by week 5 if Cousins is for real or not, right? I want to know. I said the NFL, don't wait on that. Thank you for this gauntlet. Fine. The Dolphins, not a gauntlet. Fine, we'll take the Dolphins. But starting from week 2, no, we got some pretty serious games. Yeah, I want to know by week 5 if Cousins is for real or not. Oh, Kurt is real. Oh, he's real. The question is, are you more real than a 22-year-old rookie quarterback? I think Mendoza's 22. I literally just made that age up. I think he's 22. I just made that age up. Kirk Cousins is for real, and and that's why I say I think there's a good plan for Kirk Cousins here that doesn't necessarily end with him leaving the team after 1 year. Namely because Kirk Cousins is for real, we can actually trade him. We have him under contract for the next for the next 5 years. We're only paying him for the next 2 years, but we got him under contract for the next 5 years, I think. If Kirk Cousins actually balls out, yeah, we can trade him at the end of the season. Oh yeah, right? If Mendoza can adapt to the NFL, then he will be better than Kirk. Exactly. Because I've already alluded to this on several occasions that when you look at Kirk Cousins and Mendoza, Mendoza for one is much bigger than Kirk is. much bigger than Kurt is. In football terms, not like we're not talking like giant difference, but in football terms, it does. I'm trying to find that picture. That difference is big enough.